Welcome back, Kings. Today, I thought of a topic that I'd like to share with you guys that I think could be a very fundamental rule for the rest of your self-improvement. And something that could kind of ground you in your self-improvement activities, and something to maybe plan the things that you do for your personal self-improvement. Maybe something to plan around. Something to ground you. Something to help you sort through this idea of self-improvement. And this idea is an idea that I came up with. There might be something else out there similar to it, but I call it the 3 pillars of self-improvement: mind, body, and soul. And really what this is, there's pretty much all your self-improvement activities are going to fall into this. So like your mind, your mental health, your mental strength, your mental discipline. Body would be going to the gym, doing cardio, working, but also fighting, if you're doing any kind of sports. But those also, once you get to a certain level in sports, that's also going to leak into your mind and your soul, mostly your mind. And also soul, reading the word, reading scriptures, becoming stronger in your faith, that's also soul. And eventually that will leak into mind and body. And so they kind of all just play into each other. And what I found is most self-improvement topics will fall under one of these, and they all kind of spill into each other. And so I feel like it's a good idea to have an understanding of these 3 topics. And so, mind. When we think of mind, when it comes to self-improvement, what do we think of? Well, I think the number one thing that you can help to level up your mental strength is meditation. I meditate almost every day. I will admit I've been caught slipping here the past few days, and so I haven't meditated in a few days. That's something that I need to be held accountable for. But meditating helps you practice the art of being mindful. The art of being mindful is when you have no external thoughts and you're completely focused on doing what you're doing right now. I can't say that I've completely unlocked this power, but I've gotten to the point where right now I'm recording this video and it's pretty much the only thing I'm thinking about. I may get some stray thoughts here every now and then, but I have developed my ability to be mindful in my work. And so also, another way to be mindful in your work is to have your phone turned off. Don't have notifications on your phone. And if you do, don't have them on while you're working or doing school. That's a beta move, Kings. Don't do it. But it's important to meditate. There's several apps you can get, such as Medito and Calm. Those apps can help to just kind of guide you through meditation and to set timers. And sometimes they'll have a narrator telling you to breathe in and exhale. I think that can be good to kind of start off, and then eventually get to a point where you can just sit down and just do it by yourself. In meditation, I feel like there's a bad rap around it. When you hear someone say meditate, people tend to think of a person, the monk sitting down with a robe on with his hands like this. That's just dumb. That's not meditation. You can meditate laying down. You can meditate just sitting in a chair, and you can meditate anywhere. You can meditate in the car. Although it will be harder because, as you can imagine, you'll have all these external distractions. And there's apps such as Calm, Medito. Medito is a really good app I'd recommend. And actually has like different courses that you can go through. There's like different stages, like there's beginner stage, and then you actually level up, and there's different sections for you to go through. And so I would just do one section a day, just move up. Don't overdo it. Just do like one a day. And they start off from like 3 minutes, and they go all the way up to where I've done 20-minute sessions of meditating. And that's probably weird to think about, but this helps your focus, helps you become more mindful, and it's 100% worth it. But there's a very weird feeling after you've meditated for 20 minutes. Your mind, you digest everything a lot more, and you think so much more clearly. And so I think the number one practice for upgrading your mental strength and your mental discipline is meditating every day. You want to do some form of meditation every single day, period. And I found that it's best to be doing that in your morning routine, maybe even as soon as you wake up. Another thing you can do to upgrade your mental strength is reading books. Even if it's just a storybook, reading off pages and consuming energy, it helps you think. And so, I'm actually going to write that down. Like I said, I'm kind of just going with the flow on this because this is a topic of like the 3 pillars of self-improvement. This is an idea I came up with by myself. And so I'm just going to kind of build off of it. And so eventually I think I'll do like a complete guide. The 3 pillars of self-improvement will probably be like a 2-hour long video. But yeah, this is kind of just like a quick video to kind of like throw it at you guys. And so being mindful, practicing leveling up your mind, strength, meditating, reading books, also just going outside and walking in nature is good. I feel like just being in nature and not listening to any music, just listening to the sounds of the world, listening to the wind go through the trees, listening to the frogs at night, listening to and I will say I'm very privileged when it comes to this topic because I live in the country. Like right now I can literally see our willow tree blowing in the wind, and I can see like the cows in the pasture just eating grass. And so like I will admit it's a lot easier said than done, I guess, if you live in the city. But also if you live in the city, just go on a walk, look at people. So I feel, okay, I know you're like, oh, whoa, don't look at people, like, bro, just like chill out and be mature. Really look at people and like watch like humans like having conversation. Once you actually like be mindful and you like don't have distractions, just like watching people can be like a really uplifting thing. Like just like seeing like a father play with his son or his children, or just like seeing 2 people like at like dinner. Just like one time I was eating dinner with some friends and there was this couple there, and they were so polarized, just how it's supposed to be. I just saw them going back and forth, just laughing and having a good time, and that was very encouraging. And so yeah, just taking in your surroundings, seeing just animals and nature and people just be the way that they're supposed to be. That's very powerful. And body is probably it's probably the most attractive thing for men when it comes to self-improvement, going to the gym, lifting weights. But I will say this. It's very important. Extremely important. Maybe even the most important thing. But if you're not grounded in your mind and soul, you're not going to be disciplined when it comes to body. Because I guarantee you, those big bodybuilders and all those MMA champions and those UFC guys that have they're so proficient and disciplined when it comes to body, they're pretty disciplined when it comes to mind and soul. And so if you want to be totally powerful and totally proficient when it comes to your body and becoming proficient in lifting weights or fighting or doing any kind of sport, you need to become at least disciplined and pretty well grounded in mind and soul. But when it comes to body, number one, bodybuilding, every man should do some sort of building muscle, and nobody has an excuse to not build muscle. There's all kinds of things you can do at home, but I do have the privilege of being able to go to the gym 3 times a week. And, start off small. I talked about this in a previous video, but if you're just starting off going to the gym, don't go for more than 30 minutes to an hour. Don't do that. I go 3 days a week. But since I only go 3 days a week, I do about 2-hour-long exercises, and they're full body workouts. And I'm still building muscle and gaining weight from that. And so you don't even have to go for more than 3 days a week as long as you're really putting in the hours. If you're going 3 days a week, you need to be going for about 2 hours. But that's that's for more advanced. You need to build yourself up to that. But starting off, if you're going for every day or 5 or 4 days a week, go for about 30 minutes, and then after a few weeks or a month or 2, you can go up to an hour. And just work yourself up from there. And eventually, one thing that was really hard for me is finding the right workouts to do, because there's so many different workouts on YouTube to see and use. And it was I had analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is when there's so many options on a particular subject, you freeze up and you don't pick anything. And this is something that I really struggled with in the past, but find somebody who bases all their information about bodybuilding off of scientific facts, and also, make sure they have a good physique. Don't take advice from people you don't want to don't take advice from people who are living lives you don't want to live. So find someone that has a good physique. Find somebody that bases their stuff off of facts. And also, if you're doing a split, like a bro split or like a push-pull legs, you want to do about 4 to 5 days a week. But if you're doing full body workouts, you can do 3 days a week as long as you have longer sessions. But I'll probably end up doing a video about what I do personally, because I'm a really tall guy. Like, I ended up having to specify some of my stuff, and the technique is a lot different for me on certain workouts such as bench press and squatting and other things, because I'm 6'6", and I'm 6'6" and a half, and I'm still growing, and I grow really fast, and so I'm bulking right now, and it's going to change. You have to kind of, as you go to the gym, you'll kind of get in a rhythm for yourself, and you'll realize that you'll have to change some of the workouts to accompany for your body, because everybody's different. Everybody's body is different, except for like twins and stuff. But yeah, just find something that's good for you, and your bodies are going to be different. And also, starting off in the gym, you want to have good technique. Don't I see a lot of guys that go in the gym and they have bad technique, and they're lifting all this weight and they're hurting themselves, and then they get burnt out and they don't do it. Don't go for too long when you're starting off, and look up videos on actually how to do the workout and how to have good technique. And I promise you, even if you're lifting less weight, it'll benefit you like leaps and bounds more, and you'll build more muscle. And everyone wants to build more muscle faster. You'll build more muscle faster, even though you're lifting less weight. If you have good technique, you will build muscle faster than if you had bad technique and you were lifting more weight. And I'll tell a story on this. A few weeks ago, I was in the gym, and I was doing back squat. And he's a taller guy in there that I see him sometimes, and we nod heads as we walk by, and he's a pretty chill guy. But this was the first time I had talked to him, and he had came up to me and he said, "You mind if I show you something on your squat real quick?" He wasn't like critiquing me. He was just genuinely trying to help me do my squat. And he showed me that when you're squatting, hold on. Oops. Okay. Bet you've never seen anybody squat a samurai sword before. But so you have the barbell like this. So literally you can't really see the bottom of my legs, but usually what I had been doing is I had been squatting to about right here. And my legs are about at a right angle at the climax of when I go down. When I go down the farthest, my legs were about at a 45-degree angle. So I stop in about here. What he showed me is and I see a lot of people they're always stressing out about how far away their legs are supposed to be. And he showed me this, and it works. This works, and it's so simple, super simple. Like, you'll never have to worry about where you want your legs to be on back squat or front squat ever again after I show you this. So pay attention. Literally, all you do is you jump in the air, but let your legs relax. Let your legs relax when you jump. Just like, don't move your legs, just let them float there. And when you jump, wherever they land, they're going to spread apart when you jump. Wherever they land, that's where you want your legs to be when you squat. And that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So literally just jump. Even in the gym, just like before you're about to go under the bar, just jump. Wherever your legs land, how far apart they are, that's how far apart you want your legs when you're squatting. And so that was really good, and I'm really glad that he showed me that. But yeah. Oh, also I was going to show you. When you're squatting, so like I said, I was going about Of course, I did one thing where I jumped, my legs were apart. I was squatting to about a 45-degree angle. What he showed me is squat all the way down here to where your butt and your thighs are like resting on your calves, like where you're like resting down and like you're squat, like you're resting, like you're kind of just like sitting down, and like your thighs are resting on your calves. And then go up, explode, and go up. So you're going down all the way to where your body is resting on your calves, all the way down. You can't really see it because I'm recording with my computer. I'm a webcam, which kind of sucks, but I'm working on it. So you go down to where your whole body is resting on your calves. Then you go up, explode up, all the way up. And it freaking hurts. It's hard. But listen to this, because this is going to probably blow your mind a little bit. I cut the weight that I was using by more than half. I literally took off more than half of the weight I was using. And by the time I was done, my legs were more worked out than they ever have been, ever. By using good technique, I tore the muscle fibers apart better and more efficiently than if I was using double that weight. That's the power of using good technique. And so, if you have bad technique now and you're going to the gym, just go back. Do good technique, even if you have to cut your weight. Who cares about what people say? Who cares if you're freaking squatting 35s on each side on back and on a freaking back squat? My bad. But who cares if you're only squatting 35s on each side? If you're having good technique and you're building muscle, you go to the gym to build muscle. You don't go to the gym to look cool, to see, oh, he's lifting 45. We go to the gym to build muscle. Who cares about what people think about you? Have good technique, and you'll build more muscle. Have good technique, and you won't waste your time. If you have bad technique and you're just ego lifting, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting your body. You're hurting yourself, and that is not good. So, go to the gym, have good technique, and you'll be all right. Also, find a sport that you love. I used to play basketball, and everybody wants me to play basketball. Currently, there's a basketball team at the school I'm going to, and everybody wants me to join because, I'm 6'6", of course they want me to join. And I was about to join, but I was journaling and I was thinking, why would I be playing basketball? Like, I had just recently said I didn't want to and I wanted to start fighting, but I had almost decided I was really strongly considering joining this team and not fighting. But why, I thought. And I came to the conclusion that the only reason I'd be doing it is because I look pretty cool playing at 6'6", and everybody would think I was cool. And everybody would be really glad that I'm playing basketball. Don't do that, Kings. Don't fall for the trap. And I journaled some more and I realized that what I want to focus on is fighting. Because a man should know how to protect himself. And so currently I'm doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and I'm glad I did that. And I'm not going to play basketball. I'm going to focus on jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai because that's what brings me joy. That's what makes me happy. I love leaving the gym sore and sparring with people. And like I said, the 3 pillars, everything's going to leak into this. Once you sparring, doing Muay Thai and sparring with somebody is going to leak into your mind and soul. Because there's something about with having another person in front of you. Boom, 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 boom. That's a very special thing. And I left dripping and pouring in sweat. Kind of like, what's his name? Bismarck. I left off the stage dripping, pouring in sweat. I think that's what it was. That's a good song. Bismarcky, what's that song? You got what I need. But you say he's just a friend. But you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. Oh, Biz Markie, Just a Friend. Great song. Go listen to it. But yeah, I was dripping and pouring in sweat because, like, so that gym, it's going to be a really nice gym, but they're still doing construction on it, and all the doors were open, and it's probably those train tracks, because it's kind of like, if you've seen Rocky or Creed, it looks like one of those, like, ghetto, like, places where they go, and there's, like, all these old champions there. It's actually, like, a really cool gym. But all the doors were open, and I live in Oklahoma, and so it was super hot. It was like 107 degrees outside, 110 degrees, and literally, like, okay, number one thing, if you go to Muay Thai gym or any kind of combat gym, don't bring a cotton shirt. Do not bring a cotton shirt. I promise you will regret it. Get, like, these shirts, I got this shirt, it says something on it, but you can get them from Walmart, or just get some rash guard shirts. Eventually you want to get a rash guard shirt if you end up deciding that you want to fight. But they're like really thin. They're like kind of like polyester. Get like a really thin shirt that keeps you cool. I don't bring cotton, because literally I took my shirt off before I got in my car, and I twisted it like this. And literally there was like 4 cups of water. You know, like when you dip a rag in the bathtub and you do that and it goes. That's what it was like with my shirt and sweat. My pants were the same way. And I don't sweat like that. I literally don't sweat a lot. Like, I do not sweat a lot. Like, even when I go to the gym, I hardly sweat at all. And I had, like, my shirt was totally soaked. It was like I'd fell in the swimming pool. But, yeah, don't bring a cotton shirt if you go to the gym. That's just a quick bro tip. You're welcome. But find a sport that you like. It doesn't have to be fighting, although I do think every man should have at least, every man should at least know some fighting technique and how to protect himself. But, basketball, baseball, football, find something that you love and something that you want to pursue, even if you don't want to do it professionally. I always recommend playing some kind of sport. But for me, that's Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and I really love it. But yeah, find a sport, and also something I think every man should have is a trade, some kind of traditional craft like blacksmithing, woodworking, even freaking candle making. Find some kind of old craft, because I think that's very beneficial, because you learn about history while you're doing it, and you learn how things were made a long time ago, and I just think it's a very masculine thing to do that can really boost, like, I just think it's very good for you. I'm just looking at these goats outside. They're like literally flipped over on their sides on the concrete, rolling around in the grass. Just like I said earlier, just like watching nature. Like, I love just like watching these miniature goats. They're Nigerian dwarves, so they're like literally like that's all. Like full grown, they're like that's all. And they're fun to watch because they jump around and they kick and they climb on stuff. But yeah, man, find a trade. And for me, that's blacksmithing. If you saw my podcast with Mr. Stewart, we kind of talked about that. He does woodworking and I do blacksmithing. As you can see on some of my older videos, you can see me doing crafts. I still plan on making blacksmithing videos, just not as much. But periodically, I will make blacksmithing videos. But all right, we've gone over mind. We've gone over body. Now, the last pillar of self-improvement is soul. I'm a Christian. That's my religion. Always have been, always will. And if you live in southern United States, Texas, Oklahoma, you know that there's too many branches of Christianity. And it all happened when the churches split. And literally there were churches splitting and becoming different branches because they were arguing about what color rugs that they wanted in the sanctuary. What color rug was the most biblical. And I feel like there's pros from each branch. I think the pro with baptism is they're really preaching the word, and they're going into like really digesting what the scripture means and what they mean by that. And I feel like that's very possible, just really digesting what they say. But I also feel like they're missing something. For thousands of years, Christianity there's been so much tradition around it. There's so many different feast days, Passover, so many like traditions. Like it says in the Bible that like Passover, like do this always in remembrance of me. Like it says it always. Now I'm not dogging on Baptists. That's what I'm doing. Like I go to a Baptist church like once a week. Like I have lots of friends that are Baptists. Some of the most influential men in my life have been Baptists. Like some of the men that like I look up to and I want to be more like. But also something that I've been getting more into is Catholicism, and I'm really fascinated by Catholicism, but and because they have these feast days and these traditions, and all the churches they're so much more beautiful. Because if you've ever been to a Baptist church, like they're usually like in like an old building, and they're not like, of course, like you have the pews, and then there's the podium with the pastor, and he wears a suit and tie, and it's good old school baptism. But with Catholicism, it's so things are still being done the same way they were thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. And it's and if you've ever seen like the old like Gothic cathedrals, like I love learning about them because they're huge, and it literally like even like the symmetry of the old like Gothic cathedrals are literally based off of biblical, like I don't remember what it was, but it was like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, like these three things. And there was like the way that like the podium or like the main like thing like lined up at the front of the cathedral. I don't really know for sure, but there's so much symmetry and beauty behind the old school Gothic cathedrals. And I think tradition is important. I don't think we should neglect the feast days. I don't think we should neglect the tradition of all the old chants that the monks and nuns used to do. I think that's important. Now, I'm not saying it's essential for salvation. I'm not saying that that's essential to go to heaven, because I don't think it is, but I do think it's good to do. I do think keeping those old traditions and practicing those is a good thing. But what I'm not saying is it's essential to go to heaven. I'm not saying it's essential for salvation. But I do think the Roman Catholic Church does have some faults, like the fact that what the Pope says is what happens. Like they all have to follow what the Pope says. I don't necessarily like that the whole branch is governed by the Pope, and so like the church, like if like the Pope decides that the church is going to do something different, that all the churches have to do it. And so every now and then I go to a Episcopalian church, which from my knowledge, don't quote me on this, like I'm not like by far an expert in this field at all, but it's Catholicism, but they don't follow what the Pope says. Like and I like that, the fact that they're independent and they can still follow all the old traditions and stuff without having to do whatever the Pope says. Of course, like they still like respect the Pope and like take like what he says as like they respect him, but they don't count him as the leader of their entire branch. And I think that's really cool. And so I think that there's pros and cons with Episcopalians, Roman Catholicism and baptism, and I think there's pros and cons with it all. But yeah, I'm still kind of deciding what I want to, mainly associate with. But I do think religion is paramount. Even if you're not a Christian, I think that it's important to realize that this world was created with intention. And so, because literally if the moon orbited the earth in a different way, then we'd all be dead. If Jupiter wasn't there to absorb all the comets and asteroids with its gravity, then we'd be like a dartboard. We'd just be hit by asteroids all the time. If we didn't have the amount of water that we have, we'd all be dead, because we wouldn't have water that refurbishes the earth and just recycles and keeps nature healthy. If our atmosphere was just a little different. Sorry, my computer just did something like weird here. But if our atmosphere was different, then we'd all be cooked alive. And the place in our galaxy, our solar system, where our Earth is located, is incredibly convenient for life. And it's one of there's only like a few thousand, if that hundreds of planets out of the octillions of planets out there that is possible for holding life. And so I don't think everything's a coincidence. I think that this universe was created with intention, and I think it's important to realize that. And even if you're not a Christian, I feel like it's important to realize that there is a God, whether or not you think that God is Jesus Christ. But I do think that God is Jesus Christ. And so go out there, do research, like find a religion that best suits your beliefs. And I happen to think that Christianity is the most logical and the best explanation for the world that we live in. But your religion, your faith is going to leak into your mind and your body immensely. And you're really going to base a lot of the decisions, if not all of the decisions you make in life, off of your religion. And it's important to be, so for me, I read the Bible every single day. Like, it's very important to me to be in the Word every day and to spend time reading my scripture. And I'm assuming that it's the same for other religions also. I know that Muslims have the Quran and Jews have the I forget what it's called. Sorry if there's any Jews watching my channel. I apologize. But it's important to be in your scripture every single day and really applying that to your life, and surround yourself with people whose faith matches yours. And so that was just kind of a quick video, kind of just proposing my topic, the 3 pillars of self-improvement, that I'm going to kind of probably actually base my channel around, because I think it's a really good way of thinking about self-improvement. And I'm gonna keep developing it, and maybe even write a book about it someday. The 3 pillars of self-improvement. Man, that'd be an awesome book. Oh yeah. So thank you, Kings, for watching my video. I know that you guys, if you apply the things I've said today, you'll have more success in your self-improvement. And if you've made it this far, then you're making progress. If you can make it 20 odd minutes into a video that doesn't have very many edits in it, if any at all, then you're developing a good sense of discipline, and your attention span isn't totally destroyed, at least by social media. And so if you've made it this far, you're making progress and you're doing good, and keep it up, King. Thank you for watching, and I'm on your side.